everybody, and welcome to our special in-person version of the Earthborne Rangers podcast, Earthborne Games podcast, where we play Earthborne Rangers. I am Andrew Fisher. Our host, Anders Carlson, is on his way. He probably will be joining us in the middle of this filming. We have a pretty special episode for you all today. We are going to be playing the game and showing it off to all of you. But first, we're going to need to sleeve it. We got to copy this game printed. Where'd you end up printing this, Corey?
Smart Set. It's a local place.
Smart Set here in the Twin Cities. It's not exactly representative of final quality. There's some artifacts, and the corners aren't rounded or anything, but pretty nice.
Yeah, well, it's definitely the most expensive copy of the game ever.
So in that way, it's like collector's edition.
Yes, this is a $300 copy of Earthborne Rangers.
Yes.
And it doesn't even come with tokens.
So you get to watch a very premium version, $300 version of Earthborne Rangers get played. So we're going to sleeve this up because we don't want to damage this as we play it. So we're going to sleeve it up and kind of do a normal chatty episode of the podcast as we do. When we're done with that, I think next episode we are going to have Evan and Anders play through the prologue and then maybe even the first day. So
that might be episode 3.
Episode 3 would be the first day. All right, cool. Welcome. And if you are listening on Spotify or any of our other just audio sources, for this episode, we may be sharing a card or two, but generally we're just going to be chatting, so you shouldn't miss it too much. But for next episode, when we start playing, you may want to check out the video version on YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah, and I think I heard Anders arrive, so he'll be
oh my gosh,
this is creeping through the house.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Moment now.
We originally were going to hopefully have this whole game sleeved before Anders got here, but we did some audio. We had some audio
there's still
challenges.
time. We might be able
go.
to...
Yeah.
Go.
See if we can get them all
I
sleeved.
think he's in the
sleeve the whole thing. Oh, here, Corey.
I'm
you
at the
want-
weird
Down
corner.
the
All right, here.
Oh, yeah, here.
Yes.
Personalities.
This will be good because I can just tell Anders to check to make sure the cameras are still rolling. Does it have a big red circle in the corner?
But yeah, so we kind of figured we would just chat as we sleeved, and maybe talk about some different cards as we came upon them. We could also talk about. We got a couple listener questions last time, right? Mm-hmm. Evan, you were talking about one we got.
Oh, yeah. The question on the moment card art.
Yeah, we got a question about. Do you remember which one it was?
Shoot.
I think it was Familiar Ground.
Yeah, there it is. You got it right there.
Yep. So I think we got a question on Familiar Ground and the art on it specifically. We're rolling the top shot for this sleeving portion.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll just kind of put this in the middle. We kind of have art by Wayne O'Connor here, right?
Yep.
Where this guy is jumping over some kind of puffball style mushrooms, and there's some particles flying in the air, and there was some questions about. Oh, hello!
Hey,
Welcome.
Howdy.
We just got started.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're talking.
We
to
had
the
some
camera.
audio challenges. So
As in Corey should have bought a different mic.
Yeah, Anders
you're
Carlson
recording.
has
Yeah,
walked
yeah.
in the room. He is tall and resplendent.
you are you're way more
he's-
you're way taller in person than I had imagined.
And it was Honor's birthday yesterday, too, right?
Oh,
Yes, indeed.
Happy birthday!
You're filming right now.
Yeah. There's a camera right there. There's one right there.
Yeah, just be careful of that audio recorder over there.
Yeah, just don't step on the.
Wow. The cards.
Yeah.
Hey, how's it going?
So, yeah, the question... What was the question? It was...
So the question was just about what we're seeing in the picture. What kind of mushrooms are those?
Yeah.
Are those spores poisonous?
I got the sense that they wanted to know if the specific details about the art and what it has to do with maybe the potential lore of the game. And honestly, the question is, or the answer is, this is one of the first moment art pieces that we had Wayne do. So we were just making cool stuff. Wayne was making cool stuff, and we went with it. The thematics of the card art coincide with the mechanics in that he's, as you see in the oh, it's right there already. He's sort of pole vaulting over these like mushroom fungus spore pod things, and he's forcing one to expel its spores as he's vaulting over it. And I guess that in a way that Ranger is adding like damage or adding harm to the flora, as the mechanics of the card states. Add one harm to a flora to add 3 progress to a trail. So essentially, he's adding harm to that little fungal patch, I suppose.
Yeah.
Did we have the mechanics of the card worked out when Wayne first did that first concept piece, or did we kind of match them up?
I think so. You'd started adding mechanical descriptions to the spreadsheet, but I don't remember if you had done that for this one, because it was, like I said, it was so early. It was one of the first moment pieces that Wayne did. So, that's the answer, I guess.
Cool. Yeah. No. Thank you, Evan.
Yeah.
Like one of the coolest, I think, things about working with Wayne, especially at the beginning, was it was great working with Wayne the entire time. But we started with him just doing a bunch of sketches.
Oh, yeah.
Like he was just inspired by the setting and the lore material. So he did a ton of stuff, like this great gestural style that he has. Of just like Rangers like doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like we have like one like a Ranger like riding like a toxin eater, and other things that just aren't anywhere in the game. And this is one of those concepts ultimately.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so like we didn't have anything with like puffer mushrooms, but it was just so cool. We're like, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and it works really well with the card mechanics.
Yeah, it makes sense that he's like, oh, I know this environment, right? And I know that I can utilize this environment to my benefit. You know?
Yeah, and take this shortcut through, through the underbrush, or in this case, through the mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to the question about poison, I don't. They're probably not super poisonous, since he's probably inhaling some of those. Well, do we want to get Anders in here?
Yeah, I can swap.
We can scooch on over. I've got a mic for you, Anders. All right. Well, if we edit it out, we're back, and
Shifted down here.
Anders has taken his rightful place as one of the player seats for the game tonight.
I walked right into Fisher's house and went straight to the bathroom in this house I've never been to before. That felt really weird.
Hoping and praying you have the right house.
Yes. Oh, I heard the familiar voices downstairs. So.
It's just some complete strangers listening to the Earthborne the Earthborne podcast downstairs.
What are the odds?
Anders, the host of Earthborne podcast, just
So
pissed
first
in my toilet.
I was having difficulties sleeving these. So I started sleeving them. I was like, oh, these are like all the reward cards. So then I was like, well, I don't want to like give them all away, because people, you could easily just like kind of zoom in on the video and then find stuff. No.
Yeah.
So I'm just sleeving them upside down.
Oh, okay.
You caught it early enough.
Yeah, we were worried when we got this printing. The cards are a little wider than what our final cards would be, and they just barely fit in the sleeve. This is it's snug.
Yeah, well, they don't have the corners cut either. So
Okay, I'd like to just say, as seeing this for the first time, these cards are beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing. I'm like thrilled right now.
Awesome.
I'm not like thrilled. I am thrilled. I know people don't like when we say like. So
Well, I know you saw them on. Look at that one.
there's
Yep.
there's one of mine.
Yeah.
There we go.
Let me look at it. Let me
You can
see
sleeve it.
Yeah, you saw them on TTS, right?
No, I didn't.
never saw
I
them
haven't.
anything?
You told me not to. I asked if I should go do it, and you all said wait till this.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah, he is coming in unspoiled.
Nice.
Dang, super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which art pieces did you end up doing, Anders? So you did the spider.
The spider.
You
here,
did the
this
clover?
bat.
Oh yeah. So you,
Yeah, they're
And
all
it-
they're all in
here
the
you-
ravine set.
if you just you
all
can
in
set
order.
cards out just anywhere kind of in the playfield. If you just it's focused on here, so you can just kind of
Okay.
set them on the ground to.
Here are 3 that I made. What was the other one? Oh, the web
The
wall.
web. That's the next one. They're all in a row.
there we go.
Almost.
Oh, wait,
Oh,
where-
that's there it is.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Wow.
Yeah, so that makes up kind of the heart of the ravine set, which is one of our sets kind of later in the game. It's a harder set. It focuses, like, we kind of wanted to get across the theme of like when you're hiking and traversing in ravines, it's often pretty cramped and crowded near the base of them. Or even when you're like up high on the side of a ravine, you're usually having to go single file. So we used a lot of mechanics to kind of represent things going single file. There's things that like have to be in front of one ranger at a time, or things that require your ranger tokens where you have to kind of work together. So there's this kind of feeling of like limited space in the ravine set that I think we achieved pretty well.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think the loose boulder card captures that really, really well.
Is that the hot potato one?
That's the hot potato one, yeah, where it's an obstacle that sits in front of you and it's like slowly degrading over time, and if it falls apart while it's in front of you, then you take 2 injuries.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you have to like, everybody has to put their ranger token on it, but you can only do it while it's in front of you and it passes to the next person.
Yeah.
And you have to do it all before the loose boulders collapse on you. So it's the game of hot potato.
Also, the art window is sort of claustrophobic because of all the mechanical text.
Sorry, Evan.
Yeah. No,
That's one of the
this
more
one we're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, we're talking about this one here.
That's one of the more extreme examples.
I think that's about as small as
yeah.
it should get.
That and Whispering Field, I
Yes.
think, are our 2 worst cards
Whispering Fields is-
as far as art window
It's
goes.
beautiful art. Has to get shrunk down.
It's still about an inch.
And Evan is always so polite about it. Whenever we, like Brooks and I would design cards that like really take up a bunch of space, Evan will just like very politely reach out and be like, excuse me, is the art window going to be this tiny little popsicle stick sliver?
To which you say
Yes.
yes.
Yes, we need all those words. No, we try to, even though we have the scaling text box on the path card, we really tried to limit ourselves as much as we could. The cards we really went text heavy on tend to be kind of what we call like these like centerpiece cards. They're usually like 1 per set, and it really dramatically changes the experience when it comes out. So for those, we got a little more mechanically heavy, but we tried not to go that text dense on cards you'd be drawing multiple copies of during play.
So people might ask, are we practicing what we preach with these sleeves? And are we using sleeves that we've used before?
Oh, yes.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, these were actually from old prototype copies of games we worked on, and I de-sleeved, removed all the cards from all of these sleeved before recording because I was worried that like some of them may be unreleased material that we shouldn't like put on camera.
Yeah.
And so these are all used sleeves. So at least we're reusing for a material that we can't really get a sustainable version of, unfortunately.
I saw in the fan Discord that someone threw out the idea of like the finger sleeves.
Yes.
I feel like I think I thought about that in one of the, or I mentioned that in one of the early podcasts.
Yeah, we talked about that in the podcast.
Yeah.
That you wear gloves.
Yeah, I mean, I would do that.
But they mocked it up. They had like white gloves, like, you know, you might handle like fancy art with or something.
Yeah.
And they put like one of our icons on it. Like I think it was like the progress icon on it. And sleeve your hands, not your cards.
It was really good.
That's a good.
It was
That's a good slogan.
killer
That's a good slogan.
Just imagine grabbing a handful of Cheetos with those pristine white gloves.
Oh no.
Done.
But yes, so we had a couple other questions come in. One was actually about the format of this podcast. As we were shaking up the podcast quite a bit with our sleeving and playing episodes, one person kind of asked about what our plans are for the future of the podcast, especially as we get up to release and after the game is out. Do we plan on kind of keeping our same format? Do we plan on doing more play, bringing back other segments like our top games and stuff? Have you given that any thought, Andrew, as how we want to format the podcast in the future?
I've thought about it a lot, but I don't think I've necessarily landed on anything immediately concrete. I think we definitely want to do more fun little segments. We did have an idea for a segment where, since we've worked on so many other games, where we break out one of those old games we worked on and talk about our memories working on it, or things we learned from it, or fun little anecdotes and stuff.
Yeah.
We could maybe even play that game too. That might be fun.
Could be like a game club, like a book club. You know,
Yeah.
ask the Next week we're going to be talking about this one, so go
So
buy it.
today we'll be talking about the Rune Wars miniatures game.
Hey, I've got it right up there.
I saw Fallout right there.
Yep.
I played that last night.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
I worked on it, ordered the game when it came out. Haven't played it yet.
Yeah, I played it a fair amount. So yeah, we have ideas for doing stuff like that. But I think we're going to try to intersperse podcasts with us actually like playing the game. And I think we'll play through the opening moments of the campaign up to a point. But then obviously we don't want to spoil everything. And I'm sure, people watching aren't really going to be interested in watching stuff that's like super spoilery anyway. But I do want to try to showcase the game through play as best we can. So I think what we could potentially do is, I think once the game is out, then I think it's fair game. We could just start.
Yeah, do like our own kind of full campaign playthrough.
Yeah, then I think we can just do it because other people are going to be doing that too. You know what you're getting into. But up to that point, I think we can use the playing to showcase some of the other path sets that we haven't really shown yet.
Some of the later game ones that we haven't.
That aren't in the demo. Or we could do challenges, like maybe ask the community like what kinds of things they want us to try to accomplish.
Yeah, we could bust out,
build around it, and
we could bust out some of the achievement list we've talked about. Try to accomplish some really wild things.
Yeah. Because we do want to have an achievement list on the website when the game's out. So maybe we could live R&D our achievements and see how achievable they actually are.
Try some of the really impossible ones.
Yeah, that could be fun.
There's a couple on that list that I'm like are theoretically feasible, but I think you'd really have to cheese the game to accomplish.
Yeah, well, that's what achievements are for, right? To do
yeah, like
out of the ordinary.
Let's stream us just breaking our game.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Take the gnome statue all the way from Bone Tree Station to the end of the game without ever dropping it.
Yeah.
Have it equipped all the time. It takes up 3 spots in your equipment.
Glitch out of the map. We break through to the underside of the Valley's map in the video game and use that to skip a bunch of levels.
I think you should design a mission that comes in a future expansion that doesn't resolve in the expansion, and it just hangs out in your play area until like a subsequent expansion or something. So people just don't say anything, but they can't find any way to resolve the mission, so they have to put it out every time while they play.
Just troll game design.
I love that.
Well, we almost said you discovered something in the mission
that's
that
right,
could have happened.
Yeah.
Because we did have a mission that, while it felt like it had a natural conclusion in the finale of the story, when it was written, it never actually leaves play.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I don't remember which one that was. But
Yeah, but you discovered that near the end. So we almost had that.
yeah.
We almost had it. That was almost a problem we needed to solve in a future expansion.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we can't. I remember which mission, but I think it's too
I suppose you
spoilery for
can't
the story.
mention
It's pretty critical to the story, but yeah, it never left play.
Right.
So you're like celebrating, and there's still.
Are we out of sleeves?
We need sleeves. We need more sleeves.
Oh no!
Sleeve me.
All right.
Yeah.
So I've got some here.
I thought there's no way we
Co-
would run out of sleeves.
So I was unsleeving all those cards, and Corey and I looked at the pile, and we were like,
That's a lot of
"Surely
cards.
this is enough."
I can start unsleeving over here.
Here's some more.
Are those
There we go.
good? Those
Yeah. Yep.
This is probably not enough. We need more. Oh, so we do have some fresh sleeves.
Yeah, these ones are fresh. I'm sorry.
But they don't make these anymore.
What's
So
that?
these are
Is that what these
kind
were?
of counts
Yeah,
as
okay.
having something that's...
Yeah, that's true. Game Genic took over making these like years ago.
No one makes those.
These are. I think I
We'll
have.
reuse them.
Yeah, we'll reuse these someday.
Oh yeah, I mean
You didn't go out and buy new ones, I guess is the point.
These
These are
two-
sitting in a box.
these two drawers right here are entirely filled with sleeves, and I just use and reuse until they split open. So I'm at least getting value out of them.
Nice.
All right, well, let me check my laptop. I think we had one other listener question that we can kind of throw at the group today. No, the last one wasn't a listener question. It was a listener comment, a vote for a type of merch, because last time we were talking about t-shirts and like printing on used t-shirts or whatever else. There was a vote for a Earthborne themed poncho.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a good
I
call.
love that.
That's a good call. Poncho or like a cape.
It would really enable the Ranger cosplay. you know?
Yeah.
It would. Well, I have that one foam hiking hat that is very Earthborne Rangers-y that I've considered
foam
putting a
hiking
logo
hat?
on. Yeah, it's the. I think I showed you a picture of it.
Oh, that's right, you did. Yeah, it's kind of like the triangular thing.
Yeah, it's like a conical hat, and it kind of rests on a freestanding headband.
Oh,
But
wow.
Like there's mesh, then a headband, and then it kind of balances on top of that, so it doesn't actually sit on your head.
Oh,
so,
wow.
So you can catch some breeze underneath your hat,
When you
Postman's hat.
and it's colorful. It's like a bright orange.
when you said foam, my first thought was like the football
Fingers?
Like a cheese head?
Yeah, or a cheese head. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, it's strange.
just hiking in a Packers
No,
cheese hat.
it's like it has a foam. It's a foam cord, but it's some kind of synthetic material on top of that.
I've got some hiking, I've got hiking hats and stuff, but nothing that would pass as a Rangers cosplay, I don't think. I would need to branch out to get some of that.
Yeah, I would. I hope people cosplay. There's lots
That
of
would
good
be
cosplay
amazing.
opportunities.
Oh
in
my
here,
god,
so-
yeah. The Apelian spider would be cool.
That would be cool. I'd like to see that.
I might give it a shot.
Oh yeah, here's another one of those Wayne O'Connor pieces you were talking about, Andrew. Or no, this isn't the one of him riding on the. This is the one of him like skipping through the treetops, and there's like the caustic mulcher underneath.
Yeah. So this one. Originally, there was something else happening here, and then in a feedback step, I was like, I see this, and I doodled in this little caustic mulcher here, like chasing after him.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but it was like taking. But that was part of what working with Wayne was why it was so great is he'd turn in these awesome pieces, and then oftentimes they'd give Evan or I ideas, and then we'd add little embellishments here and there, and they were always super easy to do because of the style. So I never really. I think there's a freedom in working in this kind of style that you feel pretty safe throughout the entire process in making changes. Whereas you know, a more like fully rendered piece, there's a point of no return unless you just want to be a jerk.
Yeah,
Where they're
it can
basically
really
just
piss off the
redoing.
artist. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I learned that.
When Evan came back to you and just said, redraw the whole spider.
There's quite a few changes.
So yeah, so so in Wayne's, because of Wayne's style, like we were able to really be imaginative and really. There are a few that we definitely enhanced, like very very late in the process.
I was also really impressed with just how much he captured like other details from the world. You know, like obviously we tried as much as possible to create like lots of continuity between our art, but I feel like Wayne really like every time I look at a Wayne piece, I see little details from other pieces of art.
You could tell you really researched all of the available art at the time.
Yeah, I was very
It's
impressed.
awesome.
But yeah, we're making pretty good progress with
Yeah.
4 people sleeving these cards. This might end up as a fairly short little intro episode. Too.
Yeah, that's all right.
I like that.
That's why I stopped. I was like,
This is
I was like, oh man, I want to make this episode so short.
You're that good. You're that good at sleeving. I gotta say, the used sleeves are easier than the new sleeves to sleeve.
Oh, really?
kind of
I think
broken
so.
in.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Fraction.
You're right. They are they kind of seal up on you.
They do, yeah. Another plug for used sleeves.
So this is kind of like a first for you. You've never really sleeved a game
No,
before, have you?
this is a common
This is
occurrence
culture.
in the culture.
Yeah.
This is a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and especially,
Playcast.
so when we prototype games, we'll often just print out the prototype cards on printer paper, and then just put them in a sleeve with a like backer card that's kind of firm.
Yeah.
And then as we update the game, we just update the printer paper inside of each sleeve.
Right.
And so the result of this is lots and lots of card sleeving. I think I sleeved and re-sleeved this game across development probably at least 24 times. So
doesn't really? You think that meant that?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you look forward to it? I would look forward to it. It's kind of meditative and nice.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just quietly sitting here doing it.
Some people like
Focused.
Some people will purchase board games and all they do is organize them, like sleeve them and stuff, and then they might not even play the game.
We talked about this in the first episode. Of
Did we?
this. Yeah.
Oh, really?
The people that collect games and don't even
and
really touch them. Yeah.
Well, there's one thing about collecting them and not touching them. It's a whole different thing to collect them, open them, organize them, sleeve them, and then not.
And then
finish the game.
I have a feeling there's a number of listeners right now who are feeling called out. And admittedly, I mean, there's some games behind me that are still in shrink wrap, and there are some games behind me that I haven't hit the table, especially because of pandemic, in a very long time. So I can't throw too many stones.
I have plenty of games in shrink wrap. I think that's very common. Shrink wrap, or like the shrink wrap is broken and that's pretty much it.
You'll get to it.
There's some games that I have gone as far as to like punch out a little punch, put it in a little bag. So I guess that maybe counts that I maybe have not played.
There's a bunch of Legion expansions that I haven't played or used.
Well, that's miniatures gaming. That is life as miniatures gamers.
Yeah. But I haven't even taken them out of the box.
Exactly.
So
that's what.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Oh.
Yeah. There's like I have so many unassembled like boxes of miniatures.
No, blasphemy. I was telling Corey while we were setting up that I have a goal to build, paint, and play with every mini I buy.
That's a good goal.
And I try to only buy for my Tyranids army. But, like, admittedly, again, I confidently say that. But in our sightline outside of the camera right now, you can see unpainted Tyranids.
Oh, right
They're
there.
painted.
They're
They have a base coat on them, and they've been washed.
yeah.
They look pretty good.
That's two steps of like
Yeah.
12.
Would he get
You've done something to
Would
them.
he get the points in like an organized play structure
I
for
think
painted
technically-
miniatures?
I think technically.
Ooh,
Yes.
I don't know. That's like 3-color minimum, though, right?
Oh, is that what it is? 3-color minimum?
Yeah, I think so.
Just put a little dab on their little heads.
Just flick red paint
Yeah,
at them. That's
blood
the third
splatter.
color.
There you go. That's a good idea.
No one's ever thought of that before.
I'm taking from that stack too. Do you? I mean,
Ooh, I was not. I
I'm
was.
just organizing now.
I was not doing a great job at
Okay.
keeping this organized.
because now we got doubles. There's 2 green thumbs in different decks.
That's okay.
Okay.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out off camera.
What I'm here to do.
I on the topic of organizing games, I, like many of you, I'm sure, many of you listeners, just got my copy of Frosthaven. I don't remember. Did we talk about this? When it was the Andrews podcast, I think I held it up.
Yes,
I
you
held
did.
up the monstrosity.
Yep.
But it's all organized now. I got the like organizer that came with it, but honestly,
Well,
like
during the campaign.
yeah, from the campaign. I think originally they were going to do Broken Token, but they ended up going with Folded Space, which is another company that does these organizers. But I think Folded Space does like cut foam trays. But to be honest, the base game came with some pretty nice back trays, and I ended up just giving away the foam organizer to
really?
a former coworker because, like, honestly, the base game seemed organized enough. Got it all set up, but Sam and I haven't put it on the table quite yet. So
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out tomorrow. My neighbor invited me to sit in on their campaign, so
That might be it.
I'll let you know.
are you going to? Well, you can help me with these
you get-
aspects.
Okay, all right.
Are you gonna?
I only got 3 sleeves over here. That's all I'm doing.
Here.
Oh man.
Are you going to actually play a character, or are you just
Yes.
gonna like hang out? And...
Well, at first he was saying, "Do you just want to hang out?" I'm like, "No, I don't want to just hang out. Like, watch you play a game. I will play." So I'm gonna just make a character in this at least just play through this session.
Sweet.
Yeah.
How many other players are there?
3 others.
Okay. All right. You're gonna have a full house.
That's full house, right?
Yep.
It's up to 4.
Yep.
That's Frosthaven? Or
From everything I've seen so far, it looks very similar to Gloomhaven, just in like the moment-to-moment gameplay has stayed pretty similar. It's kind of that like tactical puzzle where you're kind of managing your hand of cards and trying to burn down or manage how many cards you burn down before you're out and out of the game.
So not having the broad experience of games like that as you guys have had, it makes me think of the Doom board game from FFG. Is it like that at all? Because you have a little mini deck or something of cards you play.
There
Oh.
To move your miniature around.
There are some comparisons, like the card play to drive a miniatures game, but this one's a little more. Oh shoot! I'm sure there's another more direct comparison, but I'm drawing a blank on.
To that mechanic specifically?
Yeah, it's a little more puzzly than the Doom board game is in like.
Makes sense.
You've got this small deck of cards, like 12 cards, that represent all of the different powers that your character has access to. And each card has a power on the top and the bottom, and then an initiative number. And so you choose 2 cards that you're going to represent your turn and put them down. And then the rest of your cards go to the side. And then you flip them up, and then you flip up all the enemy activations. And now that all this information is out, you go by initiative number through. And when you get to you activate the top of one card and the bottom of the other. So it gives you, or is it, that's right?
That sounds right.
Top of one, bottom of the other. I'm sorry if I got this wrong, listeners. And so you have a couple different ways you can do your turn. So it's nice because it kind of has you make some high-level strategic decisions at the beginning of the round, and then when you get to your turn, you make some smaller tactical decisions. So it kind of breaks up the decision-making nicely. And then those cards go to a discard, and when you're running low on cards, you can rest and get back all your cards from your discard except one gets burnt permanently. And then there's some other choices you can make to potentially burn more. But so your deck gets smaller and smaller, and once you have too few cards to play, you're out. So you're kind of managing, kind of like your fatigue in Rangers, you're kind of managing this dwindling resource that kind of elegantly emerges from your hand of cards.
Interesting. When you choose your 2 cards in the beginning from the deck of 12, do you share that information with your allies?
You can say really general things, but you're not allowed to say like specifics, like I'm doing this power. Okay. You can say things like, I'm going to go early and I'm going to take out these guys with an AoE, right? But you can't tell them like, I'm playing Cinder Smash at a 53 initiative.
Interesting.
Well, I understood the first thing better than the second thing, so that probably works out.
Yeah. I mean, like, if you played a lot, you'd understand. Like, I'm gonna boost my Cinder Smash with a fire mana. But anyway, so
approved.
What
else?
We're done.
Frosthaven looks like it executes fairly similarly to Gloomhaven, but that's not a bad thing because that puzzle is what I think keeps a lot of people coming back to the game. So. Yeah, is that it? Are we done with cards?
We're done.
Yeah.
So,
aside from potentially organizing stuff, Honors and I were both sleeving over here, so pods might be out of order.
Yeah, we can kind of...
we can get that all set up.
Yeah, get this all arranged.
I am missing one Explorer roll.
Uh-oh. Could be...
I'm sure it's here somewhere.
No, not in here. All right, you guys are going to play with more limited options today.
Okay. Who's playing? Me and Evan?
Yep.
Yeah, and then
I'm
Andrew and
nervous.
I are going to hang out and just judge you harshly.
I'm not the smartest person.
Oh, we're in trouble then.
I thought you were the smart guy.
Well, you don't have to be smart to play a smart character.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
don't worry about it.
Yeah, the game will handle it for you.
Okay. You guys have to really like hover over us and say, "Do this now. Now do this."
That sounds terrible.
No, I'm not going to tell you what
Sounds
to
really
do.
fun to me.
But I am going to give you crap after you do the wrong thing.
You'll just
So-
snicker
Doesn't help.
after we do anything.
Yeah. Just jeer at us over there.
I'm missing a fractured wall. 1 of 3.
I think there's some here. Or, no, those are the... Here you go.
Oh, there it is.
I was hiding these ones.
These miniatures are beautiful. Who painted them?
Sam Gregor Stewart painted those.
Wow. Is that the guy I met at the coffee shop that day?
No.
Okay.
That was
Rob.
Rob.
Okay. I don't know why.
Yeah, Sam is the one who wrote most of the words you'll be hearing as we play through the game.
Yes, that's how I know the name.
He's also a talented miniatures painter, so he painted up our first kind of test shots of the Ranger minis.
Yeah, originally we were going to put these images online, but I didn't. I like in the online store, but decided to leave them off. Ultimately, these ones are a little bit smaller than the finals.
Are they?
Yeah, they're a little bit bigger than this.
Yeah, these were our first test shots, so some modifications were made after we made them. But they're close enough, and Sam did a great job painting them.
You did.
Oh yeah. I love the grass, little
Do you want
flowers.
these set
in
aside
there.
somewhere?
Those all the Valley and General cards.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll grab these.
Oh, never mind. I got some Valley cards right here.
Or are you getting pictures to punch into or to overlay? Corey is juggling all of our AV equipment today. We've got a couple video feeds, 2 different audio recorders. Corey's going to take highlight pictures. It's a whole production. This is a
Yeah, the Peerless Pathfinder's missing. I don't know where it is.
we have the printer initially.
Oh wait, there it is.
Oh, sweet. All right.
Hey, buddy.
Cool. And we have my prototype. It's just not printed as nice. So if we need any backup cards, we can grab from that.
We got him.
Or he grabbed the one.
I got more Valley cards right here.
Okay. Cool.
So nothing here is final, like printed by the final printers, right?
Correct.
This is all different. Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about it a bit at the top, but yeah, we printed this at a local place. So
Okay.
the final one, card quality will be a little different. There'll be rounded corners and stuff.
Nice. Where'd you
Yeah.
print them?
Smart set.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been looking into that place.
Yeah, I liked them. Yeah, I went in there at first to see if they could just print proofs for us when we were reviewing everything before I went to the printer, or like our last review. And it was near to the coffee shop where I was hanging out and working. Like I
ran into you.
Yeah, or no, I was at a different coffee shop. The other
Spy
one,
House?
Spy House,
Okay,
up
yeah.
the block, right? And I was gonna leave there and go and then see if I could find some place to print it. So I just like Googled up like, printers, and I was like, oh, this is like right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay, cool.
I just walked down the street and went in, and it's I think people just aren't used to people just walking in. Though, Corey, I think
yeah.
you just walked in too, right?
I did it the other day, yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I have some questions for her. And I just like went over because I wanted coffee at Dogwoods.
Yeah. So I just walked in and talked to them old school. It was really awesome. And they didn't really have time to print it in time for us to review before it went to the printer. But when we decided we wanted to do this, we were hoping to have like a line sample or something by this point. So I thought we might have it, but since we didn't, decided to just print this with them. I think they did a great job.
Yeah. Looks great.
The books.
And the books too.
Yeah, and the books look great.
Yes.
They're a little thicker.
Let me look at this book.
Yeah, they're a little thicker, so the binding, like at the seam in some of the pages, you'll kind of see through where it's bound to get stitched together.
Yeah, and they squared off the spines also.
Super cool.
Oh, weird.
This is the kind of thing I was in the market for when I was thinking about Smart Set. So how much do
nice.
these cost?
This whole thing was $300,
Okay.
but they trimmed it also.
Yeah, all the cards. Yeah.
And bound those.
Yeah, and bound those.
Super cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm impressed with all the work it probably took them to cut all this and get it all figured out. Like,
And they
I'm
reprinted
impressed.
it, and they screwed up the first time, and then they fixed it for free. So
yeah,
it's commercial.
yeah, commercial for Smart Set.
Yeah.
To be fair, I should have been more specific with my card size. I said poker. I should have just said the millimeters.
Yeah.
So it's a little on me.
Poker set.
Well, that's all right. They didn't blame you.
They didn't blame me.
They
They're
were
very,
like,
very nice.
"Sir, yes, sir. We will print another one for
Very
you."
helpful.
Yeah.
So is this going to be its own episode? This one here?
Yeah, so we're just kind of
own thing.
sleeving and chatting, and we're gonna put this up, and then
We're gonna
once the two of you dive in and start playing, we'll kind of do that as a separate episode as well.
All right. Yeah, we don't talk off camera, so we're working out the show right now.
Do it live.
So you want to do the things we're into while we're...
Let me think.
I didn't even think about the thing I'm
Have I
into.
been into anything? It would just be talking about Marvel Snap.
You play-
I'm
It's
still
time for
snapping.
Andre's Snap Corner.
Yeah.
You posted a screenshot. You're so excited about the
It was
power level.
amazing. And
I
then
text.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I directly messaged Andrew an even higher power level because I didn't want to spam
Yeah.
the podcast chat, but I had to share it with somebody. So yeah,
Oh yeah, I've also still been playing. I play Marvel Snap every night.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's
Wow.
your current collection level?
I'm a little ashamed. My collection level's only like 1650.
I thought you'd be ashamed at how high it is. I'm ashamed at how high.
yeah, me too.
Oh, how high-
I'm ashamed of how high.
how
it
I'm
is.
like 2100 or something.
Okay, that's not too high.
No.
What do
I
you?
think I was at 17. I'm probably at 1800 now, something
Okay.
like that. So
Does it just keep going forever?
yeah,
Probably.
There's no level cap?
Theoretically, there is.
Is
So
there a time where you have to retire?
Well, that collection
RPG?
level,
Like,
you
get
can
to
just
like 3,000. You're like, now you just have to start over.
you just I guess. I think the
That's
collection
some-
level
yeah.
you just keep collecting maybe tokens and stuff.
yeah.
well, at a certain point, so collection level is gained by like you get cards and you can upgrade their quality, and when you upgrade their quality, you increase your collection level, which unlocks new cards.
Okay.
Theoretically, if you played just an absurd amount, you could unlock every card in the game and upgrade them all to their maximum quality, and then there's nothing else to do. But they're releasing
the game.
There must be something else to do. Surely they've thought of that.
Well, I
They'll
think
keep
it
unveiling.
scales exponentially or logarithmically or whatever. So like I don't know if anybody has achieved this before they start releasing new cards. So I think they're generally safe, is my impression.
Well, there is a counter that resets though, right? Your bronze, silver, gold.
Oh yeah, like your
track.
rank. Yeah.
Yeah, rank. That resets every. It's not chapter. What is it called?
Season?
Season. Yeah. See,
Yeah,
you can
every
tell I
month.
don't play these games very often, so
Yeah.
I don't know the terminology.
Well, I'm grateful that you guys are still playing because
Yeah.
I have 5 friends I'd say that I have been texting with. Did you do this yet? Check this out. And I came up with a new deck and I was really excited about it and I shared it with everyone. And you're the only person who said, "Oh, cool." Everyone else like, "You're still playing that? You're still playing?"
Uncool.
I haven't played that since before Christmas. So
But I couldn't fully
appreciate
play
you
your.
guys.
I couldn't play your deck because I didn't have all the cards you had. So
Oh.
I played like a facsimile of it. So.
Yeah.
Well, and
it's
they
still cool, though.
they just released the ability to play match up against your friends and play your friends.
We got to do that.
Well, we're
Yeah.
all here.
Yeah, we got to do it on stream.
This is an Earthborne podcast, you guys.
I'm shaking my head for those of you listening to the audio version.
All right, so for non-Marvel Snap things we're into, what are you into, Andrew?
Yeah.
I'm still definitely not into Marvel Snap.
Your loss.
Never tried it yet.
That's it. No, I don't do gaming on my phone. I don't.
You will.
You will. Nope, not into it. But I did get a PlayStation 5 yesterday.
Oh.
Ooh,
I already told
at
this
long
to
last.
everybody. No, I haven't. I've been wanting to get one for the past couple of years, but every time I went to purchase one, it's just not available.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, I'll either, do a quick if I have to go to Target for something, I'll just take a quick run by the video game section to see if there's any consoles, and there never are.
No.
It's just this sad,
Yeah, empty.
empty case with a TV that's usually turned off. It just looks like it's been looted.
You've looked at a lot of PS4 price labels on a shelf.
Yeah.
Right.
Or PS5.
Yeah, PS5, exactly. The only thing they have at Target usually when I go is the Xbox Series S.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want that.
Is that
Who
the
wants that?
is that the
Considered it.
lower one?
Yeah,
Okay.
Considered it.
No one wants that. Well, someone might, I think, eventually be like, fine, I'll buy it.
Good enough.
I'll just buy the other one when I find one. But I went to Amazon yesterday, and they didn't have the regular ones available, but the bundles for God of War Ragnarok were on sale. So I bought one.
And it
then I
came-
got it in like 3 hours. It's like that.
insane.
It showed up in the evening. Yeah, it's scary.
Have you been playing that?
I tried it last night for about an hour. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah?
The lighting is really, really good in that game.
Did you play the
Looks amazing.
first God of War
I did.
reboot?
Yep. Yeah, I like the game a lot. I think I played through it twice.
Yeah, it was incredible. So I'm excited. I haven't gotten the chance to play the new one yet, but I'm excited.
Yeah, it's cool. It doesn't have quite as hard of a hitting opening as the first one did. Like it was like really resonant and like I think really brought you into that character and what was going on with him right away. He was like chopping down that tree, and you obviously you figure out as you're playing like what he was actually doing. Very, very cool. So maybe there'll be some sort of reveal later on with what's going on at the beginning of this one. But yeah, graphically it looks pretty amazing. It's not as big of a leap from like PS3 as it was like PS3 to PS4, PS4 to PS5.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to get smaller and smaller.
Yeah, I was
go
not
on.
blown away. I mean, it looks. I mean, just because it's been so normalized, it looks great. But yeah, it didn't. I wasn't like, oh my god, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
I mean, I really think we're kind of reaching a phase of like plateauing off where the limiting factor isn't hardware as much anymore as it is just like artists' time and
Yeah.
like, you know, like style and just the feasibility of organizing a AAA development team that size, right? That's going to start being the limiting factor more than hardware these days.
Yeah, well, the art's great. I mean, the texture work is amazing. Kratos' skin is very skin.
Such skin.
Yeah, like he's got a lot going on in his face,
So
like
porous.
hollows of his eyes and like all the creases and stuff on his face. Like he looks phenomenal.
Do you ever
He's got a
stop
great
and
beard.
think, though, like, that's really awesome, but do I want this? Like, do I need to see every little freckle on a god? You know,
Yes.
you do. You-
Every pore increases my enjoyment, Anders.
Me too. Yeah, I think
Not
the
enough
more,
pores.
I guess I do
C
too.
minus.
Yeah, I think
You like it?
the
Yeah, I
more-
do.
The more realistic skin looks, I think the better for me. Like having those layers where there's like some transparency and they're actually
Yeah.
trying to mimic.
I like to walk the character into a corner just so the camera gets real close to their face, you know, and I can just admire like
Oh, yeah.
the artistry,
Yeah,
whatever. I do that a lot.
I really liked those
I like how
loading,
you know that.
those loading screens on Heavy Rain. You ever play Heavy Rain?
I've never heard of that.
Well, it's like it's an adventure game.
It's a Quantic Dream
Quantic
game
Dream,
from like
yeah.
the PS3 era.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
It gets a lot of people make fun of it, but I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. But the loading screens were just the character faces, giant on the screen, and you could just like use the controller to look around with them.
Go
funny.
Yeah, and it was a resolution that you didn't get in the game. They were just massive because it was probably just like a hollowed out version of this
sure.
portion of the model. Yeah, it's a long way of saying the skin looks great, and I think the controller is really great. Like
In
that's
God of War.
the controller itself.
Oh, the controller, yeah.
The Dual Sense
It is nice.
is a very, very nice controller.
Well, it's got the fancy like the triggers like have some kind of
Yeah, that
haptics in them.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, tension, right?
Yep.
It provides.
Yeah. So yeah, I played a little bit of that last night. That was pretty cool. And I downloaded a bunch of things that I owned, both the PS4 and PS5 versions. So like Horizon Forbidden West. I never finished that game, so maybe I'll go back and poke around at that. There's some things that I was telling Fisher about while I was playing on PS4 where I just thought to myself, this is an effect that will look way better on the PS5. And here they're like, just slap a texture on it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It looks terrible.
Oh.
So, so Fisher asked me if I would be, how disappointed I would be
If you go back and it's exactly the same on
exactly the
PS5.
same. I'll be very disappointed.
It might be.
But I would be shocked. Yeah, so that's exciting.
I hear that the game that's bundled in the Astros
Yes,
is
that's
really
supposed to
fun
be really good.
with the controller. Yeah.
I've heard that's the only thing that really uses the controller to that extent.
In my experience, that's
yeah,
that's the
and
case.
it's like still the best example of just the tech demo.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, right, the developers of Astro's Playroom were trying to show off that hardware,
Right.
whereas most of these other developers are like developing and trying to publish to 3 different platforms, sometimes 4 if they're going to Switch.
Say at least.
And then like somebody comes to them and goes, all right, there's these weird haptic controls, this weird haptic control API that we should plug into. Like, do we have time for this? And then everybody at the dev team looks at them like, no, we don't have time for that.
Yeah, that is solidly nice to have territory.
Yeah.
It's way down the list. Way down the list. That's nice to say. My sons were very excited.
Oh, I bet.
Excited. Yeah, Sebastian. I picked him up from school. He was like, "What? Yeah."
Did he not know it was coming?
No, I didn't know.
I guess it was coming. It came in 3 hours.
Yeah, it showed up. Like, Sam didn't know it was coming.
Can you imagine
He's
if
like,
your
"Why didn't you
dad?
tell me?" Like, I just ordered it. I'm sorry, I forgot.
My
He's
kids
like,
would
"You
never
should
do
have
that.
told me."
Imagine if your dad was like super into gaming when you were a kid, and then like, hey, we got the latest,
I
all the
can't.
latest gear.
That's my dad was a
Cool dad.
Yeah.
Thanks.
my dad was worked on supercomputer compilers and got to go to like the first public showing of the N64. So like they showed off like Mario, where like they have his face and he follows the cursor and then you run around in 3D. And my dad came home and like he played a little games but not a ton and like was like describing it to us, right? Except he was like I forget exactly how he said it, but he was like it's like the camera's zooming around in 3D. I think it's going to make people sick. I don't think it's going to take off. This N64 thing, I don't know. And like, me and my little brother are just like, in awe. We want to see it so bad.
It'd be funny if your dad was describing it to you and your brother as if he was like a little kid too. And then Mario's face, pull on his nose. It's so cool.
But well, you've been doing in PlayStation Land. My things I've been into lately, games wise at least, is I've been really using my Game Pass to its fullest potential.
Nice.
I played a bit of maybe a few hours of Hi-Fi Rush. I don't know if you have you guys seen this?
Yeah, it's got a lot of buzz right now.
Yeah, it's kind of
Kind of like shadow dropped it or whatever they call that. Like just kind of came out of nowhere.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the
It
game?
wasn't. They
guy-
announced it and it came out.
He has like a
the same
robot
day.
arm or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the whole premise is that he gets these cybernetics, but like right before he gets his cybernetics, his iPod like falls onto his chest and gets implanted in him, and now he has to do everything to the beat of music. So it's kind of like Crypto the Necrodancer, except if Crypto the Necrodancer was actually Devil May Cry. So you kind of do like swooping combo-based scored combat, but you have to do it all to the beat.
Wow.
And so everything happens to the beat, and all your combos kind of happen to the beat.
What happens if you fall off the beat? You take damage or something?
No, I mean like
does your combo
you
be
might
drained?
because all of the enemies hit you on the beat, so like your dodges have to be on the beat,
I see.
and like if you're hitting when you hit the button, he doesn't strike until the beat. So if you hit the button more in sync with the beat, it like boosts your damage.
Yeah, I saw a review and it was saying that you don't really get penalized if you don't have good rhythm. It's more you get
Like
a
bonuses.
boost if you are on rhythm.
I see.
What if you don't
That's
have
a better
rhythm
way
at
of
all?
doing it.
Yeah.
And
It's normal. Yeah, you're just okay.
Devil May Cry style, they give you like a score at the end, or like Bayonetta, those kind of games that give you that score at the end of each encounter, and so you get a score based on like how in rhythm you were. Along with
What's the highest score? S plus?
Yeah, something like that. It is on like the like tier list scale of like letter grades and then S at the top.
Good game. You recommend it?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. It's like the animations are like super polished and kind of remind me of like that kind of
Seen it.
Dragon Prince style 3D
Like
animation.
cell shaded.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Very much actually cell shaded. A lot of things say they're cell shaded now.
Oh,
They're not
but they
really.
aren't.
But they're just kind of it's. I don't know. It doesn't feel so cell shaded all the time. This one really does though.
yeah, it's gorgeous. Like it's and the art style is kind of like Jet Set Radio. This very colorful mishmash of all sorts of stuff.
Are you on rollerblades or something?
No, I don't think so.
It looks like you are.
A lot of your movement is very like swoopy, and you do
it's
some
like
grinding, and
blading
stuff.
around. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rollerblades are coming back. They're cool again.
are they?
I think so.
Do you
Never touched them.
Do you own some?
Back in the day, I did. But,
Oh, okay, well.
I mean, I just feel like 90s stuff is becoming
you-
cool again.
Didn't
so.
you blade into college every day? You'd always say they're inline skates.
Yeah.
Rollerblade is the brand.
I wish I did. I wish I was cool enough to do that.
The other Game Pass game I've been playing lately is Pentiment,
Oh yeah.
which
that also
is
looks good.
Obsidian. It's an Obsidian RPG that's done in the style of like an illuminated manuscript.
Ooh, that's cool.
yeah.
And it's from like the early 1500s, so right around like the Lutheran Reformation. And
That's
you're
an old video game.
Yeah, I was gonna make that. Well done. I was gonna say I didn't know they made video games back then.
That's what they're doing. They had to draw them all frame by frame. Those monks, they'd sit there for days.
they
one
illuminate
frame at a
every
time.
frame of the game, and then when you make a decision, they switch to a new book.
It's like, oh, 1 second.
Why is this called a video game? What is video?
But they do some cool things with it, like all of the different characters. They use different fonts for all of the speech, and like kind of based on. At first, I thought it was like based on the education of the character, but actually, like in a certain couple points, a character might buck your expectations of them, and like you might think, oh, he's a snobby royal, but then like you learn he's actually fairly well educated. And in that moment, when you realize it changes the script he's using, so it's actually more your character's impression of that person's like
Neat.
intelligence or whatever.
That's cool.
And also like when the text spawns in, it'll spawn in with typos, and then this little effect will like scratch off the typos and re-illuminate them or like redraw them. And this kind of ties in. The game has broader themes about like history and who gets to write history and how history is changed and recorded. And so even the little UI bits are kind of hinting at this theme of like changed and recorded history.
That's cool. That's really cool.
My other one fun fact about this game is our former coworker worked on it.
Who?
Brett.
Oh yeah. Yes.
Brett Klooster was
Nice.
like the lead engineer. His name shows up like second name of the credits at the start of the game.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like. He's one of my PSN friends.
Oh, cool.
So whenever he comes on, it's always like at a weird time of the day. I'm always like, what's he working on?
Pentiment.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. He's still there. Like that's where he went right after he left FFG.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if his credit is on Pentiment. I don't know where he's at right now, but
That's cool.
yeah. But anyway, that's what I've been playing. How about you, Evan? Besides Marvel Snap.
Yeah, Snap. But I haven't really had a lot of time to sit down and play games. And honestly, when I do, I have trouble, like, I'm like in a kind of a lull right now where I don't even want to commit the energy to get into a game. So, I haven't really been in any specific games, although I'm really into that HBO Last of Us series.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good. I played through the game years ago, but it was so long ago I don't really remember the story that well. So other than the broad brushstroke idea, so a lot of it just rewatching the show was new to me, and I also learned that they took some liberties with some of the aspects just to draw the show out or to create more of an emotional punch. Episode 3 was like pretty intense.
The third episode, it was like I cried harder than I thought I would at that show. I was sadder than I thought I could be at The Last of Us, and not for the reasons I thought I was going to be. You know, I thought I was going to be sad for one reason, and it was a totally different reason, and I was way more sad.
Yeah, it's funny. When I asked Megan if she wanted to watch it, she was probably thinking it was like a Star Wars show or something, which she doesn't really get into as much. So there's times where I'd already watched the episodes, so we were rewatching them together, and she'd like pull out her phone at a moment that I knew like something cool was gonna happen, and I'm just like, I don't want to like tell her to pay attention because it just kind of ruins it. But then by the time episode 2 rolled around, she's like fully committed to the show, like not looking at her phone and stuff. And then episode 3 was just like like a tearjerker for like both of us. So, but it's really good.
I've definitely done the like the jerk thing when you're watching something and you know things about it the person
Yeah.
next to you doesn't. Where like something happened in episode 4 where I went,
Yeah, exactly.
I went like, oh shit, and like I just totally involuntary. And Sam's like, is something gonna happen? And I'm like, never mind. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Like, no, I just pooped my pants.
It's like you want them to experience the thing the way you did, and you just have to just kind of be hands off,
right.
Just let it
true.
be.
Yeah, because I mean, ironically, you'll ruin it if you say
Yeah.
something. They won't get the experience
Yep.
you had.
Watch this
Right?
part's very
Yep.
good.
Yeah.
Watch. Eyes on the screen.
Oh wait, I was wrong. It's the next part.
Hold on, this way.
Yeah, so I don't have HBO Max, so I don't really have the option to watch it. But I don't really feel like I'm missing out on anything, even though people are saying like it's awesome. Like I'm
It's not awesome. It's okay.
You
That's
think
my
it's okay?
my point of view. The first 2 episodes, I thought this is fine. It's
Yeah.
a fine zombie show. Nothing special. 3rd episode, it does different things that are really cool.
Yeah, well,
So
I
it could
know
get really good.
Yeah, so I'm pretty familiar with the game. I played through it a couple times to a point because it's it's a game just of absolute misery, and there's just some things that are just so burned in my brain. I was like, I don't need to see that again. I'm good. But I have played through the section of the game where episode 3 was, and the way they told that story, and that was all with like found objects and like little journal entries and things. And
I had to
it was still-
rewatch that on YouTube. Just to,
Yeah, it was still pretty potent storytelling wise, even just like reading and finding those clues in the environment. So I think it's cool that they brought it to life instead. I think it's much better than like characters sitting around like. But
That might have been cool.
for me, like Last of Us is still, I think, one of my favorite, if not the game I still feel like did narrative cinematic storytelling in a video game better than any other game ever, and is still one of the best examples of storytelling, not just in a video game, but just storytelling in general. And so from my perspective, that's a work of art that does not, the TV show does not need to exist.
Right.
But clearly it's introducing it to a lot more people. If you go to try to buy The Last of Us right now, it's like full price.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I've been thinking like all these people talking about
They
Last of Us,
remastered
like,
it,
oh,
though,
like, that's
right?
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, remastered, but
Oh.
at full price. It's
it's
crazy.
more than remastered though. They did for me, remastering is like high res textures
Yeah.
slapped over.
They're still
previous-
double dipping, but they're doing it right.
Okay, but they're
Yeah.
not Skyrim double dipping,
Right, fair enough.
quintuple dipping.
Right. So they're so yeah, it might be better, but obviously it's perfectly timed. People are interested in
Yeah.
paying a lot. That's good for them. That's great. But I feel like part of what makes the story so good. Spoiler alert for a video game. I won't. So just show if you haven't played the video game, you're watching the show. Just be aware of the words that are about to come out of my
I
mouth.
haven't played the video game, so
Oh,
I can say it in a non-spoilerish way.
Okay.
Like you are controlling a character in Joel, who you might agree with what he's doing, or you might disagree with what he's doing. Long and short of it is, as the player, you have no agency in his decisions. And for a game that's so cinematic, that kind of like feels like an RPG at times, I remember feeling this like great resistance to wanting to continue, knowing where it was going and what he was doing, and you're the one doing it, and you're like, oh god, I have to do this. It's like, it's gut wrenching. It's not in a bad kind of ham-fisted way, like the way it is in like GTA 5 when you're essentially like forced to torture somebody in a scene. It's not like that, where I didn't want to do that, and I just kind of like experimented with what little could I do to not participate in this, and it kind of gives you some outs.
yeah.
This is like ingrained into the story, and you're super invested in the character, so that by the end, like you are such a bundle of like nerves and emotions, where the ending is so impactful, so powerful and thought-provoking, that I just don't feel like there's any way you can actually recapture that in passive media. I mean, I'm sure it'll be good,
I get you. Yeah.
but when you're playing it, there's just something more to it. So to me, like taking that element out, it's like I don't want to just sit back and just watch this happen because I've already experienced the best version of it. So anyway, play The Last of Us if you haven't. It's very good.
I will.
Yeah, I might.
It's on. You can. It's now on PC, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I think so, right?
it is.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Actually, I think it's going to be. I don't think it's there yet.
Maybe the remastered one isn't there yet. I thought they released it, but maybe they didn't.
I don't think they have yet.
No.
Whatever.
Anyway, it's very good. It'd be worth getting a console to play. I mean, it used to be like $5, but now it's 50,
Yeah.
60.
I was
That's
gonna say,
compelling,
yeah.
though, what you said. Yeah, that makes me want to play it rather than watch the show.
Yeah, and I the show will probably make me replay it because I've been thinking about the game ever since. So
Well, what the
You
game?
should play the game again before you watch the show so that it's not spoiled. I'd rather have the
Yeah.
show spoiled for me than have the game spoiled for me.
spoilers don't really ruin things for me. I
Really?
spoil stuff all the time.
Oh, that's right. You
I
watch like
I
all
spoil
the
Marvel. I
trailers
spoil Star Wars.
Yeah,
I just do it. I don't care.
kind of like you. We just have kind of not great memories.
Yeah, that too. I have a terrible memory.
I honestly,
So-
my favorite books, I couldn't tell you what they're about. I just know I liked it. You know.
Well, books are different. Books have
Yeah, that's true.
it's difficult for books to like find purchase in one's mind unless you're discussing it. I feel it's very, very difficult.
Have we discussed this on the show? I think we
I
have.
think we have.
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember.
Okay, shut up.
That's why book clubs are
Bore
fun.
them. Yeah. Right.
Hopefully, most of our listeners are like you guys and just have forgotten.
Yeah.
It's like, they're talking about books again. Those guys.
Well, and then finally, how about you, Anders? Anything besides Marvel Snap?
I'm on this streak of downloading games for my Steam Deck and then utilizing Steam's amazing return policy. So I've played like 10 minutes of quite a few games recently that I just didn't like.
What's Steam's return policy?
If you haven't played more than 2
hours.
hours of it and it's no more than 2 weeks after you bought it, they'll just give you a full refund
Wow.
with no explanation. I did it like 5 times in a row, so you can just keep doing it.
It must be nice to be so flush with cash that it's like, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, right.
Money in, money out. Big deal.
I know. But what did I try? One game that's kind of popular right now is Pizza Tower. Have you heard of this one?
No.
It's kind of a Wario Land-like. Not WarioWare, but Wario Land.
Okay.
What's Wario Land?
It's more of a platformer.
Okay.
It's really great. Wario Land 3 is an amazingly designed game.
Oh, there's 3 of them?
There's 4. There's 4.
They originally started on the Game Boy, I believe. Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, in video game news, you can now play Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games on Nintendo Switch online.
Oh.
And Wario Land 3 is one of them. So play that one. It's really, really cool.
Last of Us and Wario Land 3.
And Metroid Prime
remaster, yeah.
is also out. Speaking of remasters,
Ooh.
which I can't wait to play that. I've never played it.
It's fun. I like that game.
And now you can actually move the camera with the second joystick, where you couldn't with the whatever game. Was it on GameCube first?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Because you
played
just
it on
had
the
little
Wii,
sticks. Yeah, and then you could like motion control.
I played it on the Wii with a GameCube controller.
Oh.
I
Okay.
played most of my Wii experience playing GameCube games that I didn't play on GameCube. I borrowed a lot of them.
It's hard to get Metroid Prime now, unless you, I guess, emulate it, which I haven't done. So I'm really excited to try that out.
That's
It
cool.
looks really cool. But yeah, Pepperoni, or what is it called? Pizza Tower. It's a Wario Land-like, and it's just like crazy platformer, which I usually am into, but it's just all about momentum and speed, and it's overwhelming.
Is it a side-scrolling platform?
Yeah. But it's all on YouTube, and streamers are playing it. It's got really high reviews. I'm not sure if I'm going to return it yet. Might give it another chance. Still have
I'm going to buy something.
yeah.
Throw him a bone.
Well, eventually I'll commit to something.
You get my $5.
Well, I got some Steam bucks for my birthday from my sister. So,
Oh, nice.
So I may use the money from Pepperoni Tower or whatever the hell it's called, and the Steam bucks to get like maybe Last of Us. Maybe I'll wait for that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, I thought
I also
you.
tried to play Wingspan.
Oh, yeah. How did that go?
That was one of the ones that I returned.
Oh, the
that's actually
digital
why
version.
I've been nervous to learn the rules, because I was overwhelmed by the rules in just the video game version of that, and I was like, wait, maybe I'm not good at learning complex games.
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
How would it compare?
they're not at all the same.
but like in terms of complexity of movements and.
I have some bad news for you. I think we might be a little heavier than Wingspan. So,
But I watched the intro on the YouTube channel, and it seems all right. It seems better than that.
I think it's
Bad UI in the video game, I think.
oh really?
I didn't like the UI.
I haven't played the digital one.
You agree? Yeah. And
I actually had a hard time learning it on the video game.
so maybe it's just a bad tutorial on the Wingspan game.
Yeah, I think board games, video game version of board games are really hit and miss. Like sometimes they're great. I think the most fun I've ever had with one was the old Xbox Live Arcade version of Carcassonne.
Oh yeah.
That was great. And then, like, there was a newer one released on Switch. That one's terrible.
Oh really?
I don't like it at all. It's ugly. It's not like the other one has so
Wingspan
much,
I felt
has
is
so
very
much
ugly
charm.
as well. Except for the art. The bird art is fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's too bad because it's actually like a nice looking physical game.
Yeah. I like the looks of it. But
Well,
We shall
we'll see how you do with Rangers next episode. Tune in.
Yeah, I would say, like, if you were to compare it to Wingspan, it's a little bit different. It's kind of like apples and oranges.
okay. So therefore we don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Like, Wingspan has more abstraction going on than Rangers does. And I think Rangers probably appeals more to your gamer knowledge from video games.
Okay.
Where
Great.
a lot of the things you would expect to be able to do in a video game, like an adventure video game, you will be able to do in here. And it'll just kind of click
Okay.
thematically with you.
I can't wait then. I'm not nervous anymore.
All right. Well, I think that covers things we're into.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Am I the host now again?
Yeah. Take over. You're better at it than me.
Send us your questions at Earthborne Games, whatever, and we'll see you next time.
Great job.
We'll be playing the game, me and Evan.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everyone.